Welcome everybody to another edition of Friday Night Review. I am Scalz, and tonight we are all back together. It is me, Cam, and Jamey. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, man. I can't complain. I had another Friday night and Smackdown. So, yeah.
Same. I'm doing all right. Yesterday was a great day. The Dallas Stars started their season and are undefeated. But other than that, it's all right. It's a beautiful Friday night here with the boys.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that are undefeated, Jamey, but I will give it to you. It's one game.
Can I have something to be happy?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving it to you. It's good. The Rangers are undefeated at that point too, so I'm happy.
There you go.
So
I don't know what's happening.
Hockey talk. So let's jump into what happened tonight. What do we think of this episode?
It was a decent episode. There was, some filler in it, but there was also a lot that happened tonight, and a lot of action to keep us intrigued into the upcoming shows.
I'm going to be completely honest. I was a little disappointed. I mean, I expected a little bit more because, they had this red hot, everything that happened with, Bad Blood, which was a lot better than I expected it to be, with it being a minor PLE. They had the turn from Kevin. He had Jamey come back. So I expected a little more. Honestly, I think it started off very promising, and then I think it kind of just went in like airplane mode and just never really came out of it. So
bingo, filler.
Yeah, that's what you got from tonight.
Yeah,
that's what I got. At least I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I enjoy the show. I like how they are still continuing to build throughout the night. They teased us with what is coming. They didn't give us everything that they wanted. They had the nice cliffhanger from when Roman and Jimmy were talking. So there's a lot of stuff that they're building up to. And that's what I like about the show. There's such a night and day between Raw and SmackDown. Like this week especially. SmackDown flowed. It was a great thing. It was top to bottom show, a lot of action, a lot of wrestling. Raw felt like a hot mess. Everything rushed together, jumbled. You didn't know what the hell was going on, and it just seemed like I don't even know what I was doing on Monday night.
Well, that was because it was the first 2-hour episode in a long time. The more they do that, the more they'll get used to it, But
Okay.
another way you can say it though is like, yeah, it's the same people that put on these shows. They should know what they're doing, blah blah blah. But never mind.
Jamey,
I had a point, and I just proved myself wrong.
You made my point for me by bringing that up.
Yeah,
it's the same people that run SmackDown.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate over here, man.
No, I get it. It's the first time that Raw has been 2 hours in 12 years. It was the first time Raw was not on between 10 and 11 since 1997. Like, there's a lot of things that happen on Monday Night Raw that are firsts.
Yeah, I was able to go to bed at a decent time.
But it's the same company that runs the 2-hour SmackDown on Friday and the 2-hour NXT on Tuesdays. And they couldn't figure out how to do a 2-hour Raw.
Okay.
See, I mean, if this had been last week's SmackDown we were talking about, last week's SmackDown I think was a lot better. You had the triple threat ladder match for tag team titles. You had the dumpster match, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite Chelsea Green match by far. That was a great episode of SmackDown. Tonight was
absolutely was. I apologize for that. I was not feeling up to it.
I completely understand. If you need the time off, take the time off, do what you got to do. I'm just saying, to me, SmackDown last week was a lot better than this week.
Agreed.
If you're comparing the two episodes, absolutely, 100%.
I mean, I don't think Cam and neither am I is saying that like this is a bad episode. It's just it's not what they've been doing as of late.
No, I get it. I'm not saying this was an all-time great episode either. I'm just saying there was a lot of good things that happened in this show.
For what
And
they've been giving us, I think we're so like not so spoiled, but like we've been spoiled a little bit. So when we do get an episode that's just an average SmackDown, we're like, hey, where's the rest of it, man? Where's like we rationing
it,
her
I
here?
agree.
Oh man,
it did feel like tonight went super quick. Like I felt stuff was missing. Like it
Yeah.
was. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, it's in the main event already. Like,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's when you know it's a good episode because you don't. It doesn't feel like it's dragging.
I mean,
Like it was a good episode. It wasn't a great episode. And
for
that's the
TV
difference is what normally SmackDown is.
like if you're thinking TV purposes, yeah, it was good. The pacing of it was good. Everything hit their marks, hit their times. Everything was on cue. It was great. It did its job. But as fans, we're like, man, we really want to see more from this. We want to see more from that. And we really didn't get much of that.
What do you think was the biggest thing missing tonight?
I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say necessarily there was anything specifically missing that it felt like. It just felt like, again, coming off of a red hot Bad Blood, a lot of people, and I know I'm not the only one that came into SmackDown going, oh, SmackDown's going to be a banger. Because based off what happened. Like, I expected to get more from like the Kevin Owens thing. Like, I feel like where they dropped him in at, I felt like was maybe the wrong placement.
Mm-hmm.
And then to like cut his mic. Now it reminded me of when he like did that whole, work shoot thing on Shane McMahon, way back when, so it was a cool little callback to that. But I feel like that was misplaced because I don't feel like they should have done that. If we're gonna get a heel, it's bad enough. And I understand, I guess I kind of understand from a business side of things why they had Kevin Owens turn heel on like, off of like our TV screens and on socials, because they have like millions upon bajillions of fans on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and whatever else. So they're trying to utilize, if you notice, they're trying to utilize those platforms more. Now they got speed and post Raw talk or whatever, talking smack, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to utilize those things. So for these super fans who just eat, sleep, breathe WWE, they give them more entertainment on those social, platforms, because they have so many people that follow them on there. So I get it, but like, you robbed us of us getting it on TV. So I feel like you should have just let him talk and explain why he turned on Cody instead of just cutting him off. And then he tried to get on commentary and continue talking, and then Cody came out. And it's like, I would have just liked for him to just being able to speak. You know what I mean? Because when he came out, it got me to pop. I'm not gonna lie, it got me out of my seat because I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. And then didn't let him talk. You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you, Cam. Even if like all that transpired tonight did happen, even if it was like backstage, he like is kicking the hell out of somebody and then like grabs the camera once he noticed that like he's being filmed and is like sitting there holding the camera like this and just talking his mess. That would have been the way to do it.
Yeah. You could have had Kevin. You had The Rock do it. The Rock was cutting a whole like 20-minute promo after he was left the arena on Monday, or what was it, not Monday night, but on Bad Blood when he came back
on Instagram. Yeah,
dude,
yeah. On Instagram.
The Rock's
he was literally
Instagram.
walking.
The Rock's Instagram promos are what I live for.
Yeah, and to me, that was the best one because it was just hilarious.
All he kept saying was the final boss this, the final boss that. It's like, all right, we get it.
I just love the part when he walked past the trailer and he saw Dusty. He was like, "Love you, hate your son." That was hilarious. He saw John Cena.
Yeah, that was
the best.
That was the best.
I was like, that's hilarious. So yeah, Kevin could have did that. Just walking back to his car, just talking trash about Cody the entire time.
Kevin Owens was wearing a Dusty Rhodes t-shirt.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, that's brilliant. That's genius.
No, but definitely like
he did it in a subtle way with that.
Like definitely like the walking back, just talking smack, kind of like to the people type thing. That would be such a stone cold thing for him to do, and it would definitely fit.
See, I like how they're trying to keep this that they're gonna solve it off of air, because that was the whole thing. Triple H came out and said, well, sorry, Paul Levesque came out and said it on Twitter that we're going to handle this internally, and that it's not going to be not going to be done on the shows. So that's where you get the cutting of the mic from Kevin Owens when he first tried to talk about it. And then I like how they're keeping Cody away from him right now. Like, it's not going to get to that point where they're going to get to each other.
I do like
and Randy being involved in it, and the fact that now that KO turned on Randy as well.
it adds
like,
a layer
just,
of separation.
That's just going to extend it, because Cody already has his match at Crown Jewel. So now we're going to get Randy versus KO at Crown Jewel before getting to KO versus Cody.
Yep.
Now, is that going to lead to KO versus Cody for another title shot? Because if it is, and it's heel KO versus Cody, we might see a new champ.
Yeah.
Because if they are leading towards the way of the triple threat with Rock, Roman, and Cody for Mania, you don't need the belt for that.
No, you don't.
So there are lots of ways they could do this. Oh, you're talking about when all this was in the back with Street Profits and DIY, and there's a whole mess going on over there, and all of a sudden he just he looks like this and just starts running, and he sees KO attacking Randy just out of nowhere. It's
that's wrestler's instinct right there. That's just like,
yeah, but the way he's saying is the dog, the bloodhound smelled.
Oh yeah,
it. He just had to run to it. So now that we went into that, who is this tag team that he's bringing in next week?
Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, it's definitely Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, I mean that.
I mean,
it's too obvious.
Too obvious. But when the man says, "I know," and it's like,
well, you had the segment before where he was talking to Santos Escobar, and he was like, I have a tag team that I'm bringing in to face you guys.
Right.
You knew something was going on there. And then right after that, we get the vignette, which all but confirmed it, because it said MCMG in the vignette itself.
I didn't even see that part.
I didn't even see that.
I didn't see that part. I just know like just the way with the
with Detroit
vehicle
8 Mile
and a Fast and Furious type, I was like, it's Motor City Machine Guns.
It literally, but it literally said it right before the end, MCMG.
I didn't even notice that part. I really didn't.
And then
I'm not even gonna lie. Like I've been like holding my phone like this, and then I got hockey on the monitor. Like I'm not even gonna front you.
And then you had Ciampa doing the symbol for MCMG when they were all talking. So the subtle hints are there, and man, I am excited for this. I can't wait till we get that triple threat for a number one contendership for the title.
I mean, I like that that the Motor City Machine Guns, like they're not gonna do the NXT thing, like they're going straight main roster, which I like that.
So
they're not going to NXT?
No, they're not. They're not going to NXT, is what he's saying. Because there was a lot of rumors that they were starting in NXT first before coming to the main roster.
Yeah.
Tommy said, "Don't get me wrong, I like AP, but God, fucking all this is the vibe." Now,
all this is the vibe.
I like the fact that they're so different in regards to their styles. One needs to be calm. He likes to control everything. The other one, chaos doesn't bother him. He wants a chaotic environment. He feels that it's a better for the brand, better for the show. So it's interesting how we get the two different people, and both shows are typically good.
I like all this better. All this runs he's just a better authority figure, I think.
What's going on, Swagums? How are we doing tonight? Good thing this ain't PG anymore. I don't know if I can handle Motor City Water Guts as a day.
Goddamn, pal.
That's funny.
The Detroit Water Guns. Well, they can't even say water gun. They'd have to be like
They wouldn't even be able to say gun.
water
essentially.
shooting
Water.
device.
Water pew-pews.
Water, yeah, water squirter.
Pause.
But what do we think of now? Let's get away from all this because all that tied in together. What do we think of this segment tonight that started with Nia Jax and Tiffany out at the ring before Naomi came out?
Well, Nia Jax is obviously she's a bully.
Yeah,
Only I can say. She's a gigantic bully on
gigantic bully.
Tiffany. She tried to break her neck with that freaking headlock she put her in.
Right.
Good grief. Go easy.
Put that headlock on Steve.
So I know it's not happening anytime soon because if they're going to do it soon, they'd be dumb because they're going to lose all the sales from the briefcase. But when she cashes in and beats Nia, the crowd is going to go fucking nuts for Tiffany.
Yes.
So I don't think we are going to get that first failed cash in because if they do and miss this opportunity, that's a mistake.
It's a big mistake. Big mistake. Yeah, like I said, I keep saying it that they're building this up. As soon as I seen her get this customized briefcase, I'm like, they're in this for the long haul. They're not going to give her a customized briefcase just to have her fail to cash it in. It just doesn't.
Damien held it for like what, 8 months?
Damien held it for.
Yeah, he held it for a good little bit.
He held it for 10 because
Something
the
like
match
that,
is either in June or July,
Mhm.
and he cashed it in April. So he held it between 9 and 10 months.
I mean, I said like 8 months. I mean, dude, I'm not a freaking encyclopedia like you, Scalz.
No,
Phil's the encyclopedia.
No,
let's get
it's
that.
It's a calendar. It's really not hard.
Freaking
Phil-
Scalz, the WWE encyclopedia.
No, please don't. No.
That's
Do not
Phil.
compare me to Phil. Do
That's
not
Phil.
compare me to M Duplessis. Don't compare me to other people. There's a lot of people that are considered
Britannica?
encyclopedias in wrestling knowledge.
Okay,
I am not one of them.
You're the
In
Britannica.
1975. Like, what?
Well, hold on, dude.
But
Wait. Well, actually, back in on the first episode of NXT, wait, let me find my lotion. Okay, then.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Let me find my Rogaine.
Oh, relax there, buddy. You're not far behind me.
I'm more
Wow.
graceful with it, though. You know.
Hey,
No
you
one
wanna
is in the
start it?
long run.
I still got hair on my head. Come on.
So do I. I mean, we both have more than Cam.
Do you though? I have about the same as much as you do.
On the top of your head?
Bro,
Yes.
you got the Arn Anderson hairstyle, bro.
No,
Like you told your barber,
No.
give me that
that's
Arn
Scalz.
Anderson.
Scalz has the Arn Anderson style going.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Back to the segment with Tiffany, Nia, and then Naomi. We had a great match that followed this. But before the match, we had Liv Morgan come out, and she was led by, as they're calling her, the muscle, Raquel Gonzalez. Or Rodriguez. Sorry. I don't know which name she's going by now.
Raquel.
So we'll say
I just
Raquel.
call Raquel.
And then Don came out. Apparently, Liv wanted to have a tag match with this, but she was okay with Naomi fighting Nia. So we get this great match. And then after the match was over, you had Liv help Naomi win by hitting Nia Jax with the briefcase. Naomi does a powerbomb to Nia. 1, 2, 3 for the victory. After all that, they're leaving. Rhea Ripley shows up, and this is where Jamey went to Twitter and was complaining that there are people from other brands on the show.
I was poking fun at you, Scalz, because
I know you were.
I know you would react to it because you know.
Well, you tagged me in it. What did you expect?
The Will Gray of Botch Spots and Chair Shots, as his thing is brand splits aren't real. None of it matters. And
no, he says brand splits are not real and drafts don't. No.
Yeah,
drafts are not real and
you
brand
had it right,
splits don't
Scalz.
matter.
I mean, you've heard it so much by now, you would know.
Yeah, because he
I'm
keeps
gonna get
saying
that as a
it.
tattoo.
But
then
the only like, and normally I just blow it off because I'm like, well, damn, it's wrestling. But in this case, I'm like, I mean, I get it. They're in a storyline, but that's on Raw. This is SmackDown, and this is champion versus champion, as you would say later on, Scalz. And I don't see Rhea Ripley holding no belt around her waist. Scalz.
Yeah, but that was the reason why Liv was there. Is
Yes.
because it's championship, and Rhea did not get her
I'm
pound of flesh
okay with
out.
that.
Right, but you're
Due
not letting me
to
finish.
current stipulations.
You're not letting me finish.
Okay.
Liv was not on Monday Night Raw. She showed up before the show and they left. So Rhea had to find a way to go after her to get her pound of flesh from Bad Blood after losing.
Meh.
Then like do that in the parking lot. Like do
It's
something.
the most dangerous place, isn't it? Oh, does that only
That's
apply to
NXT.
That's NXT.
That's a different show.
That's fair.
Just like the women's locker room is the second most dangerous place in NXT.
Just NXT is just dangerous in general. NXT on tap Tuesdays. Anyways. Yeah, wasn't a fan of Rhea Ripley being on the show. That's not me saying I'm not a fan of Rhea Ripley. I'm not a fan of the storyline. I just didn't see where it fit on this episode of SmackDown. I understand why they did it. Absolutely. But it wasn't for me, dog.
But that pop.
I agree with Jamey.
It's all about the pop. You gotta have your push. You gotta have your pop. Snap, crackle, pop. Who gives a shit? Come on.
I agree with Jamey.
You're right, crispy treats today.
Scaring me today.
Someone pissed in his cornflakes.
Hey, cornflakes are great. Add a little bit of sugar on it, a little bit of milk. Not too much milk. Not too much milk. Just and you could say
milk before the cereal or cereal before the milk.
Cereal. Wait. You do cereal and then milk.
Okay.
Okay. Like
you're one of the sane ones.
If
you do milk first, then cereal, you're a psychopath. I'm sorry.
Let me try to
find Will Gray.
a correct way to say this because I don't want to get canceled. But if you don't do that, you're an absolute idiot.
It's just weird to me. I don't know.
Like, where was I?
Anyway, back on SmackDown.
All right. What else happened on SmackDown tonight that we're missing?
And the Super Friends on the Hall of Justice. Anyways.
What?
If you're referring to Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, who had a tag team title match for some reason against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. That happened.
So
the exception to the rule.
They got the match based off of what has happened on NXT. And they just did the match here instead of on NXT. Now, I don't like that they had KO come out in front of them and cut off their entrance and their debut on SmackDown. But it does get more eyes on them because they will be seen when it's shown out there of that segment starting.
So you're gonna hate me for saying this, okay? But I'm gonna say it anyway. In terms of this, one of the deepest divisions they have right now is in NXT with the women. I mean, they are just chock full of just name after name after name after name, right? In that women's locker room,
cooking,
and that's great and all fine and dandy. my problem is outside of like the really big names, they kind of just become like one and the same. Like there's no character, there's no identity. Like they come into NXT and it's like, oh, we got a former tennis player, we got a former cheerleader, it's like, oh, that's great. You know, that's fantastic. They're athletic. But it's like, what else? What else is there? What is their identity? And I feel like I see that with Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. Like, what are they? Are they the Avengers? Are they Powerpuff Girls? Like, what are they? What is their identity? Like, I get it, they're a part of the metaphor, but what is the metaphor other than the horrible pun? You know, play off the name metaphor. What is the metaphor? What is Jakara? That's the problem to me. That's going to be a problem for a lot of those once all the big names have been called up. That's going to be a problem for those names that are left if they don't come up with like gimmicks and characters and stuff like that. Like that's what NXT is for, is developing those things.
So translation for Cam here is a lot of people that, I mean, even though they're mostly almost on the same level, a lot of people who watch Raw and SmackDown still don't watch NXT. So when they see these two random people show up on the show and debut, and there's no explanation given or story or background on said show, boom, who the hell are these people? Which, don't get me wrong, Scalz, I was actually happy to kind of see them because I'm like, hey, I've seen them on NXT. They're finally making it. I'm proud. But a part of me is like, why are we here?
No, I get it. If you don't watch NXT every week, you wouldn't know the reason why they were there.
But
so I understand.
I knew, but about 92% of everyone else probably didn't know.
Like I said, I get it. But this, right now, the women's tag division probably has been the most consistent it's been since it's ever been formed with these belts.
Yeah, I do agree.
And
that I agree with wholeheartedly.
They are going back and forth across all three brands. You are getting title matches on all three brands,
which I like.
And they are working and building it up. I was not happy when they gave the belts back to Bianca and Jade. I felt they didn't need to, because as it's been proven right now, all they're doing is beating every team they face, especially tonight in under 2 minutes. Like, how does that help the division? How can you build up the division if all they're doing is defeating every single person in it?
I think what you're trying to do more than necessarily build the division, because the division will kind of build itself because of how they've been churning the women's division in NXT in general. So it kind of plays hand in hand. But right now, I think they're still trying to focus on the development of Jade with the pairing with Bianca as being the kind of on the job teacher.
Okay. So why don't they have music together? They've been together for how long now?
Because Jade's a star.
I don't care. Put them together with that music, so when the split and the turn happens, it'll mean more, because now they're not singles wrestlers tagging together. They're a tag team that breaks.
I understand that, but just with the star power of Jade since she's been here, it's just, I understand what you're saying, because I'm like, it'd be nice to have some sort of music mashup. I get that. But do you really want to trust Def Rebel with that?
Def Rebel's on their way out, though.
They're already on their way out. They're not using them. They're using other groups. How do you think LA Knight got a remix?
They were still doing music when Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were doing their thing.
But I'm saying now, Def Rebel hasn't really been used in much of the new stuff.
But so much time has passed.
So Jamey, if they were to come up with a theme, Jamey, if they were to come up with a theme with them right now, if they were to come up with a theme for them right now, it probably would be a lot better off because they're not so heavy reliant on Def Rebel. Def Rebel, once again, is on their way out. Had this been when they first got paired together, yeah, it'd be heavy Def Rebel, and it probably would suck.
It would sound like this: Bianca and Jade.
Yeah, it'd be generic like everything else is. Yeah, exactly.
Bianca and Jade.
Did you eat a bowl of sugar today? Like you have so much energy.
That's
No,
not.
we haven't talked in the last 2 weeks, so I'm trying to get all this out.
I understand what you're saying, but to my point is, that they're doing this for the breakup. Like that's the whole point of this tag team is for their match to happen at WrestleMania.
Please.
So
I'm not saying I disagree.
While they are doing this, they should be using, even if they did the mashup where Jade started and then after she's done, they just went into Bianca's music. Like it's more of a combined music as opposed to her music stopping and then Bianca's playing. Like it doesn't make sense.
They need like a Jarrett show mashup. Y'all remember that Jarrett show mashup?
Yeah.
That thing was badass. That was dope.
Break the walls to me, show.
I was like, this is hard.
I like the Miz show.
If you want to talk about the most recent one, what
Show
about
Miz.
the Joe Hendry Hardy Boys one that happened on TNA?
I gotta hear that one.
It was actually really good. It was actually really good.
MJF Adam. Anyways, that's besides the point. The point is that you're having Bianca and Jade helping Jade in her development to still learning the WWE system.
I get that, but how does a 2
You're
minute
gonna
match
you're gonna end up beating these tag teams from the developmental in 2 minutes.
Scalz is saying if you have them dominate the entire division or lack thereof, who are you gonna? You're gonna run into a wall, and I think they already are. Of who do they face next? Who beats them?
But after all,
see,
you
here's the thing:
run into a wall.
Whoever beats Jade and Bianca needs to then be put over the moon, essentially.
Yes.
Of how strong they're being booked right now. Not do like what they did with Unholy Union, where they win the titles and then do nothing with the titles and they go right back to where they started.
Right.
That's what they need to do. They won't do that probably, but that's what they need to do.
Okay, so if that's the case, then what's that? Who's that team? What's that team?
I got a team. Nikki and Alexa Bliss. Boom. I liked Nikki and Alexa Bliss when they were tag team champions. They were cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
I liked them. And now especially if you bring Alexa Bliss back and put her in a white 6, this new darker version of that tag team, perfect.
Hot take. I don't
Perfecto.
think Alexa Bliss is ever gonna wrestle again. I just don't. That's just hot take.
So you want to make a bet on that?
No, I'm not a betting man. I kind of get burnt on those,
I gotta hear your explanation for that.
Yeah, I want to know why, because she's already been in the ring training to come back.
It's been heavily rumored that she's coming back.
Like, I'm not like I don't have any like explanation, no anything.
So it's just a hot take for the sake of a hot take.
No, it's just a feeling.
It's a hunch.
It's a hunch. I mean, the last time I had a
Law
hunch.
and Order now?
No, the last time I had a hunch was my fantasy football draft. I had the first pick. I didn't take Christian McCaffrey.
How'd that work out for you?
That's actually great because McCaffrey hasn't played.
I mean, I'm still doing not so great in my fantasy football league.
What's going on, Will? How are we doing tonight?
At least I didn't take the guy that I was thinking, oh, he's kind of had some injury problems.
But who did you take?
Take a wild guess.
Breece Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that working out for you? Not much better.
Yeah.
You should have stuck with McCaffrey, who's probably going to be coming back in week 9. and
I
then
know.
being a dominant force.
And then when you end up taking Pacheco because he's a very dependable back, and then he gets hurt. Like this NFL season, I know this is a wrestling show.
Thank you,
We've
Tommy,
talked
for the biddies.
about
We appreciate it.
show me them biddies. Anyways, talking about NFL on the back end of the show, I this NFL season's been very weird when it comes to injury.
Yes.
But
it's been
anyways,
weird
besides the
altogether.
point, Wyatt 6, blah blah blah, Alexa Bliss. Where were we?
That's where we were, right? We were talking about that. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I think that would be one of the perfect team to take the belts off of them.
Because I can't think of anybody else. I really can't.
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Again, I still want Piper
Chelsea
to break out on her
Chelsea
own.
deserves a fucking belt.
She
I don't
does.
care what belt you get her.
She
I don't care
does.
if it's the new women's division when they put out new belts.
But I think the
run.
I think the run she's on right now though is deserving of a little bit better than a tag team title. To
Let
me,
me look at the
That's what I'm saying, a
NXT
mid-card belt.
women's roster.
So I don't know. That's just me.
Dumpster championship.
I mean, I don't care. That match was a banger. I don't care.
Let's talk about that match.
Wait.
That was a banger.
Maybe this leads to Chelsea Green walking to a random trash can and picking up the 24/7 champion.
Oh my god.
That was actually missed the dumpster. So
Yeah, it did miss the draft. It did miss the trash.
You said crazy.
But that match last week, the power bomb to finish the match was amazing.
Perfecto.
It was perfect timing. Went through that table. Perfect.
Awesome.
The I-95 championship. The I-95 7-Eleven European title. That's R-Truth's belt. No one else's.
Yeah, no, but that match was great. That
I love
solidified that I think that solidified what Chelsea Green's character is. Like, you know, like, so for me it's like I may not have really understood Chelsea Green for like a while, but that match just like it just made so much sense for her character.
Chelsea
So
Green.
yeah. And she came out wearing a trash bag. Like that was just perfect. Like everything about it was just you couldn't have made it any better. It's great.
And I love the fact that you're still carrying over. Smelling.
Yes.
Since last Friday. Like when she went to the party at Bad Blood, and they're like, "What?" And like, "Oh man, you stink." And then I forget who else was there. It was like, "Oh no, it's not that smell. It's Chelsea." Like, so it's just how they're doing it. And then tonight she said, "Oh, you stink," and like to just keep adding to it. So they're going to go for the tag titles again. They probably won't get them, but they are still in that division at the moment. What else happened tonight? Anything else that was of significance? We really didn't talk about Jay and Roman
At all.
Opening. Okay.
I mean, we touched on it a little bit in the beginning.
Well,
Pause.
hello there, Chris Sabin.
Yeah, Chris.
Anyways.
He's tweeting out. Yeah, it's the first time he's tweeted in like forever.
Hit him with the old Obi-Wan. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello
So
there.
tonight the show opened with Jimmy Uso coming out. And he's talking. He gets interrupted by the OTC, and the crowd goes berserk for him. And Roman comes out and pulls a 180 and says, "Acknowledge him."
Whoa, Carmelo
Jimmy.
Hayes. Let's
People were
said
kind of
to
confused. They were
acknowledge-
just like, what?
To acknowledge Jimmy. And the reason for that is because Jimmy is the one that called the play and showed up at Bad Blood.
Quarterback. Yeah. I thought he was going to, honestly thought he was going to say acknowledge us for a second.
Well, I thought it's Roman, so you assume he's going to say acknowledge me. Like
He actually said,
Heel Roman. Babyface Roman, I'm thinking was going to say
Right.
acknowledge us.
join me.
So
Which
yeah, he said join me in
I like
acknowledging him.
join the
I
Dark
like
Order.
I like the join me. Let's go.
And they're talking, going back and forth, and Jamey says we need some help because it can't just be us two.
And the
and
whole
he's
crowd
like,
erupts in yeets. Because I know
I know someone that who can do it. And then Roman goes, no yeet. Like,
and the first time he gets booed since being back because of saying that. Crazy.
and then Jamey was like, I don't know, like, we need some help. And then he just dropped the mic and walked out. Like, I thought there was going to be more to it. It was like the perfect cliffhanger. It had me on the edge of my seat for the rest of the night to see when they were going to go back to this. And then it went all the way through the show and we finally got it at the end.
Anytime somebody says hear me out, they say some off the wall stuff. So I feel like you're gonna say something crazy.
All right, well, we're here for it. So
some wild nonsense.
but we get the main event for versus Solo versus Jamey.
Good TV match.
I'm not even putting that up on the screen.
See? Well, that's what I tell you. What I tell you.
He's banned. Banned.
This was a pretty good match between Solo and Jamey. But I thought Jamey said he was going to whoop his little brother's ass.
Not quite.
Hey yo.
Not quite. I mean, it was okay. It didn't really deliver like I thought it was going to. But I think I think we're starting to see the vast difference of Jamey and Jay as singles wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy's he's oh boy.
Put the other one on the screen.
I believe in Joe.
That one I'll put up on the screen.
In Paris.
Joe Henry on the main roster they would go nuts for that. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, well, absolutely they would. They do for NXT when he's on there.
Yeah. He's so over, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can see the difference between Jay and Jamey.
Yeah. Jay is the more fast-paced, high-flying, and Jimmy's the, slower pace, kind of worker. So
Which is why they work so well together.
I just
exactly
as a tag team, man.
Their pacing just kind of equals out when they're together. So, but yeah, I think that's the vast difference of Jamey and Jay as singles wrestlers.
Say when the whole Bloodline saga's over and they're back as a tag team, them against the Motor City Machine Guns would be gas.
Facts. Give me Tommaso Ciampa versus Chris Sabin.
Oh,
DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns.
Gas.
Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns. When the Lucha Bros show up versus Motor City Machine Guns. I know we have to wait a year for that now because TK,
unfortunately,
TK became petty and turned into.
I love it. The
pettiness.
Oh, you love the fact that he did what he said he would never do and what AEW would be different.
I just love the fact that the man finally grew a set.
But that's not.
They just love the pettiness.
Yeah,
that's not growing a set, though. That's not growing a set.
That's just being petty.
That's being petty for the sake of being petty.
I mean,
that's not growing a set. That didn't.
How long have you been a wrestling fan?
I've been a wrestling fan for longer than you've been alive.
Okay, and the wrestling has never been an honest man's game.
Yes, but when you say that we're not going to be like WWE, we're going to be the alternative. I'm not going to do what Vince has done. And then you do what Vince has done.
It's true.
I love
You're putting yourself in a bad spot.
Facts.
You know how many people are not going to, you know how many free agents might not go there because of this?
I don't know about that, but put yourself in
Why
TK's
not?
shoes
Look what he's doing already.
and say, hey, I've put this amount of financial say in
Mhm.
this talent, and I feel like I didn't get what I paid for in this said talent.
You didn't get what you paid for out of the Lucha Bros?
I
You
mean, I will say,
absolutely
The
did.
two that have been there since the beginning and have done anything and everything you've asked of them.
I mean, it's just
If this was
Definitely
how
did.
Tony felt.
if this was Rusev or Andrade or somebody else, I could understand. But the Lucha Bros are two of the AEW originals that helped build your company and their
Tough
reputation within
competition,
that
buddy.
company. And then you tell them a month before you do it that you're not going to be adding injury time onto their contract. But because you hear they're going to go to WWE, you decide to do it right before their contracts expire.
Alrighty,
That
go read
causes
more dirt
discourse.
sheets. Go read more dirt sheets, buddy.
I mean, I could see like, because I could see the other side of that too, where it's like, if I'm in TK shoes, what am I really supposed to do? Like,
Oh,
I'm gonna let talent go to the competition with a smile on my face. Yeah, no,
all you're
you know what
doing
I
is
mean?
you're
I can
hurting
see that side. So.
but you're not hurting WWE. You're not hurting AEW because they're not going to wrestle there anyway. You weren't using them when they're healthy. The only people you're hurting in this is the talent.
That's fair. I'm just saying, like, I can understand, like, you know, how he may think right now or how he may
Right?
feel.
Anything to prevent
He's not
him.
gonna let them go willingly. Like, oh hey, yeah, good luck. No,
I understand that, but
What if the
Uh,
Lucha Bros were on a MasterCard instead of a Visa?
Jesus
Jamey.
Christ.
But it's just like I see everywhere is like, oh, that's WWE always did this. They've always added injury time to roster talent to prevent them from leaving when their contracts were done.
When?
Well, they used to when Vince
I mean,
was there.
unless Vince didn't think you were anything.
I know they had like the non-compete clause. That's what they're
Yeah,
talking about.
that's when they released the
Laws.
talent. But they've usually add injury and time on if they know you're leaving to prevent you from going anywhere else.
Mm.
But if you want to go off of the most recent ones, Edge could have had a year and a half of injury time added on. Was not added on. They let him walk. Jeff Hardy could have had injury time added on. They let him walk. Rusev could have had injury time added on. They let him walk.
Well, Jeff Hardy,
But
they didn't let him walk. They kicked his ass to the curb.
but I'm just saying, like, you understand my point. Is just because they knew they were going to the other brand, the other company, they're not gonna. They didn't do it. They could have done it to be petty, and Vince would have if he was still there.
Wow.
So what you're saying, and I'm not putting it up on the screen, but what you're saying, Swagums, is you're taking away everything he has done for the business because he said one word.
D, I can't help you on this one. You dug yourself in this one hole, bro. You dug yourself in this one, bro. I can't help you, dog.
One word, and you're ruining everything that he has done for the entire wrestling industry over the last 50 years. I'm just like, there's so many things that could have been done differently in that aspect with TK.
I agree.
Okay, that doesn't even count. Papa John's ain't even a good pizza.
It's not bad.
It's
a lot
alright.
better.
It's really doughy, but
There's a lot that are better, but it's not bad. It's comparable to store bought. And some of those are better than Papa John's.
yeah, say that again.
Was there anything else we wanted to discuss about Friday Night Review tonight?
I think that's it.
I think we covered it. I mean, nobody wanted to talk about a Game 7 being added, the United States Championship match. I mean, it was you know what you get out of that at this point.
Oh, speaking of that, we didn't even talk about that match. The United States Championship tonight. You got LA Knight versus Carmelo.
Was that for the title?
It was for the title.
I did not know that.
What did we think of that BFT from tonight? With the reverse body drop right into the BFT. And then this magnificent sell by Melo.
It was smooth. It was smooth.
Melo has the best sell of the BFT right now.
Mm-hmm. Him and Austin Theory.
Austin Theory is another good one. He has a great sell right now. What I hope that they do for this Game 7 is that they make it like 2 out of 3 falls between Andrade and Melo.
Or an Iron Man match.
30-minute Iron Man match. Agreed.
In a cage.
Okay.
Or
with the ring on fire.
The 3 stages of hell.
You have
man. I want them to bring back
hell.
3 stages of hell so bad.
That type of setting should be for this 7th match. One of those 3 stipulations. I think that would be great. But we all know it's going to lead to a triple threat between all 3 of them at Crown Jewel. That's what it's coming down to.
Could be a fatal 4-way with Santos coming back in the fold.
Could be.
Santos Escobar.
You gotta do something with Santos. Santos is like non-existent right now.
Too good to be sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, he's not doing anything.
But I think that covers everything from SmackDown.
It covers everything.
Do we want to discuss football?
No.
We can. We missed an entire week of predictions, but we can.
We didn't do predictions last week. And I don't know. These predictions have been freaking weird as hell this year anyway.
Terrible.
Terrible.
So many upsets. Like you said earlier, injury ridden. This is such a weird season. So I think we're gonna skip the NFL for now.
The no fun league, huh?
I mean, it's not fun. It is no fun league. You point like this and you get a fucking penalty.
Yeah.
You do a first down with your fingers pointing like a gun. They call a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. It's happened 3 times in the last 2 weeks. It's dumb. I had to hold myself there. I almost said something bad.
Motor City Water Squirters.
Pretty much.
Def Rebel, baby.
All right. Let's head on out for the evening. Jamey, where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter, Instagram, I think, at Jamey Rose PW. You could find me on Off Top Media Friday nights for Friday Night Review with Scalz and Cam. And yeah, sounds about good.
Cam?
You can find me right here every single Friday night with these 2 gentlemen for Friday Night Review every single Friday night after Friday Night Smackdown. You'll find me on our sister page on Monday nights, every single Monday night with me and Metalcore Mike after Monday Night Raw. with the Table Spot. And then again, on every Wednesday night on Rivet City Radio with The Boom, with me, Phil Khan, of course, Metalcore Mike, after AEW Dynamite every single Wednesday night. And then on my social, you can find me there on TikTok at Call Me Cam G and Cam's Wrestling Corner. And then you can find me on Twitter /X at Cam and Cheese 317. And if that does not sizzle your bacon, you can find me on Instagram at 317 Bacon, Eggs, and Cam.
I am Scalz. You can find me here every Friday night as well as every Tuesday night for NXT on Tap. You can also find me at Off the Top Media on YouTube, as well as at Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you again soon. Have
What's
a
with
great
the
evening.
flashing in your room, by the way? Like it's about to give me epilepsy at this point. Epileptic.
In my room?
Yeah.
It's probably my TV. Have a good night.
Thanks for